Okay, this tree behind me was, when I started working on it, probably about 30 feet tall, maybe 25. Tall, spindly, way taller than I wanted or needed at this location. So what I ended up doing was cutting it down to where you see it spreading out. At that point, I started annually cutting everything off, and it was growing at this size. You can see this stub here, and that was one branch. And basically it had been maintained, and so what wasn't cut grew larger, and some of the branches grew very vigorously. The first year I would get 8-foot shoots, 8 feet long, and the diameter at the base would increase. Like here, this may be a 2-year-old, but for the most part I kept it trimmed back to a base framework. I changed that framework various times, but what you see now has been neglected. I would guess 3 or 4 years. I don't think it's as little as 2, but some of these branches, like this one here, this one over here, they may be 2 years old. When I cut them to basically bring it back to where it was, we can take a look at the inside and see what that shows. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at these cuts. My presumption is this is 1 year's growth. This is previous year's growth. So that would be 1, 2, 3, possibly 4. And the same here. 1, 2, no, this is 3. This is another one, I believe to be 3 years growth. You saw how tall it was, and from this, my conclusion is that there is a lot of vigor that wants to grow. When it is allowed to, it will grow upright and overshadow the underbranches, thereby less individual branches. So to maintain this at a lower state means regular care, and this is part of the challenge of having a pollarded tree, keeping a tree small. Okay, here's another pollarded tree. Same thing. This is last year's growth. Basically, I cut it back to here every year, and these taller ones have been allowed to grow. Once I cut it, you'll be able to see how many years it's been growing. These knuckles, as they're called, you can see if they've been cut back to the point of origin, trying to not cut into the knuckle. They will heal over. There is a part that was cut back several years ago. You can see how large some of the branches are that have come off. I believe that's 1 year's growth, when much more light could get into here. But I'll be cutting this off, and we'll take a look at the base of these soon. Okay, as you can see here, I believe this to be 3 years growth. That was the first year, the second year, third year. You can see how exponentially, as time passes, it grows faster and larger, because in my belief it has more of the area, in other words, more resources, more leaves, a bigger canopy to capture the sunlight and nutrition to help it grow faster and bigger. Over time, it would reach a point of maturity where that growth would slow down. But at this point, it is still considered a young branch and will grow that way. To maintain a smaller tree means regular care. You can see here how much growth, 2 years, and people may ask, a young tree first planted in the ground wouldn't grow that fast. That is correct, because it doesn't have the root system to help it grow that fast. But because there is a root system of what I guess to be a 20-year-old tree that had been suppressed and crowded under other trees, these are able to regenerate quickly. Not all trees will regenerate this quickly. These are mulberries. They are known for, I guess I would call it aggressive, or some people might consider invasive tendencies because of this vigorous growth and spreading so easily via seeds from birds and so on. Part of the plan with these trees when I first came here was there was 3 mulberries that were small, and these others, the idea is to allow the mulberries to maintain the canopy in this area, providing a barrier between the two properties until these other trees and shrubs grow to a size to replace the feature that the mulberries were providing. If I allow them to continue to dominate the canopy, the other trees and shrubs would not grow. This here is a nut tree. I am hoping that will get to the size that it will dominate this area and be a terrific feature for food for animals and so on, but also shade and other environmental features.